My brush with death started with a routine visit to my family doctor's office. And it was the Monday after Thanksgiving a few years ago. And I thought, oh, this will be a nice way to spend the day, go and see my family doctor. I like him, he's a really nice guy. So I went in there, and first thing they did, they gave me an EKG. And his assistant showed it to him, and I saw his eyes get very big. And he came over and he took my pulse, and then his eyes really got big. And he said to me, you have a terrible case of AFib going on right now. Your heart's rhythm is all out of whack. EKG's terrible. And to make matters worse, your pulse rate is 170 beats a minute, which is about 100 too high. So he said, we need to get you right to the hospital right now. I said, okay, well, I drove here, so the hospital's only about a mile away. This is near Harrisburg Hospital. I said, I'll just get in my car and go there. He's like, no, I can't put you in a car and let you drive right now. You'll pass out and kill somebody. He said, call your wife, see if she can come, otherwise we'll get an ambulance. So I called Liz, who's here tonight with me, and Liz came and got me and took me to the hospital. And the cardiology team there at Harrisburg Hospital immediately formulated a plan. They told me what they were going to do. And they proceeded to do that pretty much for the next 3 days, although there were lots of problems. They couldn't do the shocking thing that they wanted to do to shock my heart back into rhythm because they found a blood clot that would have killed me if they shocked my heart, so they didn't want to do that. They put me in a room, and their main goal was to get my heart rate down. So they gave me some medication that was supposed to do that. They kept checking on me every hour, and the heart rate wasn't coming down. It was stubbornly staying up above 150 for days. So after 3 days of that, they sent a cardiologist in, and he said, I'll tell you what, Mr. Rhee, we're going to throw the kitchen sink at you. I said, okay, what's that mean? He said, we've given you 3 different drugs to try to lower your heart rate. None of them have worked. We're going to give you all 3 at once and see if that works. I said, okay. So he gives me the 3, they give me the 3 medications. He leaves. I'm watching a Thursday night NFL football game, and Liz was really tired because she'd been at the hospital most of this 3 days with me, and our dogs needed attention. So I said, go home and be with the dogs, get some rest. Come see me in the morning. Well, about a half hour to an hour later, I couldn't breathe. I wasn't completely unable to get my breath. I called the nurse. The nurse comes in. She was a little freaked out. She didn't really know what to do. She gave me some oxygen. It wasn't really helping me breathe. She tried to take my blood pressure, and she couldn't find any blood pressure. So then she got a doctor to come in. The doctor tries to take my blood pressure. She couldn't find any blood pressure either until they kept putting the cuff on various parts of my body till they finally got to my ankle, and they found blood pressure there. And I'll never forget, because I'm a big Michael Jordan fan, my blood pressure was the 2 numbers that he wore in the NBA, 45/23. This was not good, they told me. And so I thought, yeah, well, the fact that I can't breathe, you've given me 3 drugs that were probably never meant to be given together, and my blood pressure's down to Michael Jordan levels. You know, I said to the nurse, I remember saying this, I said, do you have an intensive care unit in this hospital? And don't you think I should be in it? And she said, yeah, I'm starting to think so. So she calls the doctor, and the doctor comes in, and she's like, okay, we're going to take you to ICU. Before we do that, you know, maybe you should call your wife, tell her to come back to the hospital. I said, yeah, that's a good idea. I called Liz, said, I think you want to come in. They're going to put me in the ICU. Meantime, the doctor says, okay, after that, is there anything else we can do for you? I said, yes. Is there a Catholic priest available? I'd like to talk to a priest. She's like, yeah, I think we can find one. So sure enough, this very nice young priest comes to my bedside, and he said, you know, what's the situation? I told him. He said, oh, maybe we should give you last rites. And I said, yeah, I think that would be a good idea. You never know. I don't think I'm going to die, but you never know. So go ahead, give me the last rites, which he did. And I said, the other thing I'd like to do is let you hear my confession, because I haven't been I'm a lapsed Catholic, sort of, and I haven't been to confession for quite a long time. He's like, okay, I'll hear your confession. So we start with the usual rigmarole of the confessional. And I said, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been 35 years since my last confession. And his eyes got big. And so I started in to try to remember all the sins of 35 years, but I was out of breath and it was hard for me to speak. And he said, this was great. This is the best moment of the night. He said, you know what, Michael, don't try to use your breath for this. God knows what's in your heart. He knows that you're sorry for your sins. I'm absolving you of all your sins right now. So I'm sitting there thinking, this is the best deal I ever heard. I didn't have to admit anything, and I've got a clean soul now. I'm good to go. So then they whisked me off to the ICU. By that time, Liz had come back. She thought it was a bad sign that there were about 12 doctors standing together in the hall outside my room, apparently getting ready to do some kind of study of me. But anyway, they took me off the ICU. They put some kind of shot in my neck that actually got my heart going again and got my heart rate back up to normal and my blood pressure up to normal. And the next morning I woke up and I was fine, and I made it through that fine. And I'll get off the stage in a minute, but I have to tell this part because Liz said the big question she had for me was, did you have that moment where you saw your life flash before your eyes, or you saw a dead relative, like your parents, or did you see your kids, or did you see me? And I said, no, frankly, I do remember exactly what I was thinking at the worst possible moment before they stuck that needle in my neck to revive me. She said, what? And I said, I was trying to remember the name of that great steakhouse that we went to in Indianapolis. And I couldn't remember it, but that was the only thing I could think about. So that was my brush with death.